You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the Missouri Department of Transportation announces several local projects.
Also, Missouri lawmakers passed a new bill aimed at helping minorities.
And we've still got some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. We'll take a look at those thunderstorms and if we'll see any more today coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Carrie Worthen. The FBI adds a Missouri man to its list of 10 most wanted fugitives and offers a reward for his capture. Donald Eugene Fields II is wanted for sex trafficking of at least one child in Missouri between approximately 2013 and 2017. A federal arrest warrant was issued for him in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri on December 8, 2022. The FBI is offering a reward up to $250,000 for the information leading to the arrest of Fields. Fields II is presumed to be armed and dangerous. If you have seen or have any information, call the FBI at 800-CALL-FBI. Individuals may also submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. The body of a missing Cassville doctor has been found after more than a week of searching. On Tuesday, the body of a Dr. John Forsyth was found in northwest Arkansas. Dr. Forsyth was last heard from in text messages around 7 a.m. on May 21st. According to a family member, authorities called on Tuesday night to make the announcement. Police say Forsyth was reported missing when he failed to show up for work May 21st at Mercy Hospital in Cassville. His black Infiniti was found parked in a remote area near the aquatic park in Cassville. The car was unlocked with his wallet, 2 phones, and a laptop and other items inside. Police have said there was no signs of foul play. Missouri lawmakers have passed a bill which supporters say would fix laws that unfairly impacted minority communities. One provision in the bill would end the sentencing disparity that imposes the same penalty for selling an ounce of crack cocaine as a pound of powder cocaine. Another would bar the courts from trying children aged 12 or 13 as adults, except for the most serious violent crimes. Advocates say both laws have been felt most harshly in minority communities. The bill is currently awaiting Governor Mike Parson's signature.
We've still got some scattered thunderstorms across southeast Kansas. I wanted to quickly show you. This is going back 1 hour ago. You can see that they're kind of trying to move off to the east a little bit, but I mean, take a look at that movement. There's almost no movement at all with these thunderstorms. They've been nearly stationary, just developing on top of themselves. The only thing that's really been trying to move is this batch of thunderstorms up in northeastern Kansas, now entering our northern counties and actually joining the line that's been stationary across other parts of southeast Kansas. Now, this batch expected to make it to about maybe the Highway 54 corridor, and it should eventually begin to turn easterly. And this activity is expected to just kind of eat up the instability that's there, that's been feeding it, and start to die out as the morning progresses. So we'll keep an eye on it. The good news is at least no strong or severe thunderstorms this morning. None are expected today. This is just general thunderstorms for us as we head into the afternoon. But as we saw yesterday, we saw that change. They added a low-end risk for strong to severe storms, and we did get a couple across the area, so we'll monitor that for you. Otherwise, this is the activity in the north pushing off to the east. We get a pause, and then by this afternoon, we see additional development in southeast Kansas. We'll start to get a few more organized thunderstorms out there, but these start to die out before they can even move into the Missouri side. But at least southeast Kansas, that needs that rain that most desperately, is going to get some additional rain. As we head into the overnight, we of course lose the daytime heating, so we lose the thunderstorms. And then as we head back into tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see additional scattered thunderstorms pop up across the area. And these, like we've been seeing, are going to feed off of the heating of the day. So they'll last into the early evening hours, and then they will die out. And this pattern will actually continue to repeat over the next several days, all the way into the beginning of next week with these pop-up storm chances. Temperatures, though, remaining in the mid, maybe even upper 80s. Overnight lows hanging out into the mid-60s. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. Missouri Highway Patrol says highway fatalities in the state over the holiday weekend are down a little from last year, but the numbers are still tragic. There were 314 crashes in Missouri over the long weekend, killing 10 people, down from 13 last year. Police also arrested 130 people for driving while intoxicated. On the water, there were 6 crashes involving boats, but none of them were fatal. There were also no drowning deaths reported. The Missouri Department of Transportation is gearing drivers a head up concerning some projects planned in the Southwest Missouri. Starting next Monday, Route 59, Route 76, and Route F will see resurfacing projects. Crews are adding an overlay of new asphalt, permanent striping, rumble strips, and new guardrails. There will be no sign detour and traffic will be reduced to 1 lane. In Joplin, travelers on I-44 should be prepared for lane reductions on off-ramps. It'll happen on Thursday and Friday from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Crews are making signal improvements as part of paving project. The work will be on eastbound I-44 at Exit 1, U.S. Route 400 and 166. Eastbound and westbound at Exit 4, Missouri Route 43. Eastbound and westbound at Exit 6, Missouri Route 43 and Main Street. And west of Jasper, MoDOT crews will close the 4th H Bridge for inspection next Tuesday, June 6th. It's over North Fork Spring River between Jasper County, Route J, and Country Road 150. No sign detours are planned and drivers are urged to find alternative routes. For a full breakdown of Southwest Missouri MoDOT projects, download the KOAM News Now app. Some residents in the 4 states felt like they had a close encounter last night. KOAM's Shannon Becker says tipsters blew up his tip line with one question Tuesday night: what just shot across the sky? This is a footage from a doorbell cam in Carterville showing the object in question. Turns out there's a simple answer for the object: SpaceX. The company had 2 events scheduled yesterday, including undocking from their National Space Station and a series of orbiting lower maneuvers. Up next, Steve Burnett and Jamie Conway come and talk about old mining days in Granby, Missouri.
And later, we're going to continue to track the thunderstorms we have this morning and talk more about the thunderstorms later today in our forecast. But first, we're going to have another live look from Schimmerhorn Park in Galena. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We've got Old Granby Mining Days coming up. Big deal going on down there, and we've got Steve Burnett and Jamie Conway joining us. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming up here this early in the morning. I know it's not a short drive from Granby to up here, so we really appreciate you coming in. So, guys, welcome to the show. Tell me a little bit about what's going on.
So go ahead, Jamie. Jamie's the mayor, by the way, of Granby.
I am. So we have Old Mining Town Days coming up. We do have flyers all in all of our businesses that have all of the events listed. And Steve will highlight some of those events.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming up. So we got pop-up market with about 50 vendors going to be there. 5K run, car show, pancake feed, kids pet parade, petting zoo, sand volleyball tournament, cornhole tournament. A bunch of bands playing there. The Flatlander Mountain Boys, Torn, the Salem Country Church players, and of course the big thing that everybody really likes at the very end on Sunday night, the fireworks.
Oh, and you can never go wrong with fireworks at any event.
Yeah,
so.
But it's a celebration. Let me give you one of the commemorative coins of the mining that went on in the area. And you know, we had lead being sent out of the area. By 1860, they were producing 10 million pounds a year. So over $8 million by 1904 out of Granby. That equates to about $300 million today. So economic engine for the entire area. But we like to celebrate Old Mining Town Days. So last year we had a tremendous number of people came. We want you to come now. Free bounce houses.
Yes, free bounce houses.
So the bounce houses were going to be $15 a piece. We had some great folks from Granby Telephone, GTC, and from Jackson Family Tires that donated money. And so now it's going to be free for everyone. So please come.
That's going to be fantastic.
13 of them.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. So, Jamie, real quick, how important is it to be able to have something like this in Granby every year, and how important is it to kind of celebrate the history of the town?
It's very important. We have a very rich history. We love to show our town off. We have some amazing merchants in our town. We're growing quite a bit. People don't know this, but we've gained like 4 to 5 new businesses over the last year. And so some very unique places, a great quilt shop, a great mercantile, just it's a different experience. And if you ever get the opportunity to come, I think you're going to love it.
I've gone through Granby once or twice, and I've just been amazed at how beautiful it is out there as well. I mean, it's just got this great atmosphere about the community, and I'm sure this event only amplifies that atmosphere across the area as well.
Absolutely. Of course, big parade coming up. We encourage everybody to come to that. And one of the things different about our parade than some of the other parades in the area is that you don't have to sign up in advance. So if you've got some old tractors, some antique cars, a float, you want to be in our parade, just show up in time for the parade on Saturday afternoon at 2, and we'll get you in the parade, and you can participate. There's no fee for doing that either.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And real quick, when exactly is this taking place? What do people need to know?
Saturday, June 3rd, the events start at 6 a.m. with the pancake feed. They go all the way into the evening with bands, lots of music to listen to. Of course, the bounce house is running throughout the day. Sunday, June 4th, it starts at 1 p.m. at the Miners Museum. We'll start opening up until 4, and then it goes and continues until dark, where we have fireworks.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for coming in this morning. Really appreciate it. And of course, if you missed any of that, don't worry. We've got additional information on our website, and that's going to be at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Come to Granby for Old Mining Town Days.
Yes.
Just come to Granby in general. Sounds like a great time.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 7:15 now on this, almost 7:16 on this Wednesday. I want to take the radar back in time. So this is about 3:16 this morning and kind of show you these storms out in southeast Kansas. And what I've been talking about is they are almost stationary. I mean, you see they tried to move east initially, and then that batch dies out and we get additional development, but it's just kind of training along this line. I'm trying to move east-northeast, but they're really not moving a lot. So here's a look at where we are right now on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Now that line, as you can also see, is starting to thin out a little bit, and it is expected to eventually die off as the morning progresses. And then this activity, which has been sinking south, is expected to eventually stop sinking south, roughly right along or near the Highway 54 corridor, and then it's going to shift east out of here. And again, this activity should begin to die off in the next hour or so across the area. We do have an opportunity for additional thunderstorms today. At least right now, no strong or severe thunderstorms expected, and we'll see those thunderstorms build in later this afternoon. Wanted to get to some current conditions. We haven't done that yet. 67 in Joplin. We got some clouds out there, a little bit on the muggy side with a south breeze at 5. Temperatures around the region were at 66 in Lamar and Pittsburgh, 70 in Chanute, 68 Miami, at 64 Neosho and Carthage. As we get our morning started, we've got those scattered storms in southeast Kansas, otherwise mostly cloudy. Additional development later this morning, this afternoon, pushing near 80 by late morning. We head into the afternoon. We're looking at highs mid to upper 80s, mostly cloudy skies for most of us, and then some of us will get in on that scattered thunderstorm activity, and that'll persist into the late evening hours. Overnight, we're going to be calm and cloudy, 64, and we will see these pop-up thunderstorm chances continue through the beginning of next week. Temperatures remaining right around the mid-80s. Well, South Georgia community honored a war hero on Memorial Day. Korean War soldier Corporal Luther Story had been missing for 73 years until this year when his remains were identified. Alicia Lewis was there as he got the true military memorial he deserved.
It was a day they never expected to happen. 3 years after Luther Story was killed in combat, his remains were declared undiscoverable, but his community never forgot him.
I really, really appreciate it. You can't imagine how much I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you very much.
A true war hero and serviceman, thousands of people gathered here today at Andersonville Cemetery to honor and recognize a man of courage, integrity, and sacrifice. Military remarks from Major Tom Carden recalled some of the remarkable actions performed by Corporal Story from his squad leader.
He talks about Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, 2nd Infantry Division, being essentially isolated and under overwhelming attack. Outnumbered and outgunned, Master Sergeant Tusserone recounted that Corporal Story secured a machine gun from one of the wounded soldiers and delivered withering fire into the ranks of the enemy.
Wade made note of the meaning of her uncle's name. She says after many years of service, he's truly lived up to his name. Take a listen.
Luther, his first name means soldier of the people, and he really is a soldier of the people. And Herschel, from the Hebrew word meaning deer, is a symbol of strength and power and God's faithful care. And I believe that that's true of him. He cared for people, and in the end, he had strength and power.
73 years after his death, Corporal Luther Story's legacy lives on. A war hero and a good man.
It's absolutely incredible and great they were able to bring him home and honor him. We'll be right back after this, but first we got another live look from Schimmerhorn Park in Galena.
Easter on Fox.
Well, summer movie season is underway, and June is shaping up to be a very busy month for movie fans.
Rick DeMagella reports.
Who do you think you are? Really?
June at the movies kicks off when Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse swings into theaters Friday.
For centuries, our kind has stayed hidden on Earth.
But not anymore, as the Maximals are ready for their robotic close-ups in Transformers Rise of the Beasts. The more than meets the eye machines stomp into theaters June 9th.
Hi.
I love you!
The Scarlet Speedster gets a big screen adventure in The Flash. The long-awaited superhero flick features not one, but two Batmen and speeds into theaters June 16th.
Junior stargazers and space cadets. Each year we celebrate Asteroid Day, commemorating September 23rd, 3007 BC, when the arid plains meteorite made Earth impact.
Wes Anderson's Asteroid City premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in May, opening in limited release June 16th, and making impact with theaters across the U.S. June 23rd.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
The Man in the Hat is back as Harrison Ford returns in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The fifth Indiana Jones big screen adventure arrives in theaters June 30th. Getting reserved seats in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
That's just a small list of, I think, all the movies that are coming out this month. So,
Which one's your top pick?
you know, honestly, the Flash one looks interesting just because it's bringing in the two Batmans.
So I do like Flash, so I'm really excited for that one. And then I know my kids will want to see the Spider-Man movie.
Of course, can't go wrong with a good animated
And
movie.
Transformers, it does look good.
It doesn't look too bad. And Indiana Jones, I've not really seen a lot of them, but this one looks pretty good as well. So,
yes.
Well, we've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. On Tuesday, the Rise Coalition hosted a walk aimed at raising awareness of missing and murdered Indigenous persons. The walk was at Rotary Centennial Park in Miami, Oklahoma. Along the walk, there were missing persons posters featuring the photos and information of Indigenous people who have disappeared. Organizers say it's important to put a spotlight on these cases.
You know, Oklahoma is ranked second for the missing and murdered as far as across the U.S. You know, at some point we have to make it stop. You know, at some point we have to understand that Native American people are important just as much as anybody else, and that we're not here to be victimized.
Federal crime statistics show Native Americans are reported missing at a higher rate than the general U.S. public. More than 9,500 were reported missing in 2020. On Tuesday, the Joplin History and Mineral Museum had its Volunteer Gardener Day. The museum invited community members out to help plant native species of wildflower around the historic building. Officials say the event educates the public on native Missouri plants and just how vital they are to the environment.
Our mission at the museum is education, and so like part of education is learning about your environment, learning about the area you grew up in, and this just seemed like a really natural fit to what we're trying to do at the museum, to teach people a little bit about the outdoor environment as well.
The museum plans to continue the project throughout Schiffendecker Park and bring the beauty of Missouri prairies back to life. Now go to Chris Warner with a look at your forecast.
Now, we've still got scattered thunderstorms across parts of southeast Kansas, and give you guys at home an idea with these pop-up storms and how all this activity works. The computer models on the short-term scale, according to them, this should have been gone almost an hour ago. And it's not. It's still out there. So we're going to continue to watch these thunderstorms. This bigger batch that was in northeast Kansas is weakening a bit, but has continued to sink southward. It should make it about as far as the Highway 54 corridor. And then this line of activity will actually begin to push it eastward, and then the rest of this to the south is still expected to dissipate as we head into the afternoon. We've still got scattered thunderstorms for this afternoon and tomorrow and the next several days, and we'll have another full look at your complete forecast here in just a few more minutes. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. With a possible House vote today, it means the possibility of a debt default still isn't off the table. Reporter Joe McLean talked to some Springfield, Missouri Social Security recipients who say they're worried.
Diane With is here at the administration building to pick up her Social Security check, which she says is vital.
Very. I don't get any other benefits, so.
When I asked her what would happen if those benefits were stopped or delayed,
I don't know what I'd do. I have no place else to go.
It's the same for Leland Patterson, a disabled veteran who relies on his recurring Social Security check. If Social Security benefits are delayed at all, what position does that put you in?
I ain't gonna be in a position, period. I'm gonna be without food, without everything.
The U.S. has never defaulted on anything. That is why most people around the world invest in our stock markets and buy government bonds, because we've never defaulted.
Sean Gallagher is a financial advisor and says he doesn't think Social Security recipients need to worry, as a default is extremely unlikely, and any deal that would be struck would not touch Social Security.
If you're really worried about your tight budget, take time to just sit there and look at it. There's got to be ways. Is there a way to save money? What's hurt people on fixed income the most is inflation right now. And there's really nothing we can do about that.
The U.S. debt default would more heavily impact the elderly, as nearly 9 out of 10 seniors get some sort of benefit from Social Security. And Social Security actually represents roughly 30% of the income that Americans over the age of 65 receive. Some kids in Girard, Kansas had their own little parade. The Parade Palooza took place at Girard City Park for kids ages 5 years and younger. They got to bring their own rideable toys like trikes, scooters, bikes, and strollers. They decorated for a ride around the park. The parade was made possible thanks to the Greenbush Parents and Teachers program.
Yes, Parents as Teachers is an early learning program that is provided through area school districts. Almost all of the districts in this area participate. We work out of Greenbush and contract with the different school districts.
Girard School District affiliate of Parents as Teachers sponsored the event. That's a look at our top news stories coming up on this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Jessica Pomerant from the NALA stops by to the studio to tell us all about a murder mystery.
And we'll have another check of those scattered thunderstorms that we have this morning, and the scattered thunderstorms we'll have this afternoon when we come back. But first, we're going to take another live look from Schimmerhorn Park in Galena.
Our car tried to beat the lights and turned left right into a round.
This motorcyclist is going to need us to get the compensation he needs.
On Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in the studio today is Jessica Pomerant. She's here to tell us all about the Joplin history murder mystery. So welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you.
So
It's
first
happy
of
to
all,
be here.
We were talking during the commercial about this, and I think it looks amazing. So tell us about it.
Yes, so Josh Shackles, our board president, has written this murder mystery, including all the Joplin history. So you have John Cox, you have the Murfreesburg gentleman, you have Bill Lupton, all these different characters that are very meaningful to Joplin history if you've studied that. And it's just a fun show that everyone who shows up puts on together. So you show up, you get a clipboard, and you will have certain things you're supposed to do or say throughout the night that give hints as to how this murder occurred. And so, of course, at the end of the night, you're like, oh, so-and-so killed so-and-so, but you don't know until the very end.
Does a person who guesses the murder, do they get anything special?
They will get an award, yes. They will get an award. And all this is going back to support Joplin NALA. So we're a literacy organization that provides free classes and tutoring for those who are either needing to learn English because it's not their native language, or they're needing assistance with English, just learning to read or working on math skills. So maybe they can improve job situations, or they can just be able to write a card to their grandkids for Christmas or read something their grandkid gave them. So, you know, there's all kinds of resources that we have at NALA, and all the proceeds will go back to Joplin NALA.
And are there still tickets open?
Yes, there are still some tickets available. Please get those as soon as possible.
Are they?
They're $50 each, which I think is reasonable for a night of fun on the town, right?
Yeah, because you mentioned all this stuff right here. There's like dancing and dinner and money games and photo booth. But I see also you said that when they come, they have to semi-formal, formal, Western, or appropriate.
Yes.
So they have to dress up.
Yes,
That's part of it.
Right. If you have a Western Victorian costume, boy, you will fit right in. If you don't, you will also fit right in. Yes. So wear Western wear Western Victorian, wear semi-formal, wear formal if you want to. Kind of come dressed as you choose to dress, but all of those are appropriate.
Okay, so if they want to buy a ticket, where would they go?
So you can go to our website to www.joplinnala, that's two N's, JOPLINNALA.org, and go to events, and it will be there. You can buy, there's a link there, you can buy the tickets there, or you can go to our Facebook page to the Joplin History Murder Mystery event page, and you can find it there.
And when is this event scheduled to happen?
So it's going to be June the 3rd, which is this Saturday, and it's from 6 to 8:30 p.m. inside the Palace Event Center, which is inside Palace Pizza, which is a new pizza restaurant here in Joplin. And so that's the food we'll be serving. It'll be Palace Pizza, which if you haven't been, you should go. It's amazing. They put something on top that's just delicious. And then we'll have dessert pizza as well. And so it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much. I hope to look for all the pictures and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you so much. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:40 now on this Wednesday morning. Don't want to back up a day. We want to keep moving toward Friday. We're watching the showers and thunderstorms in southeast Kansas. So this is the batch that was in northeastern Kansas that has now moved south, which it was expected to do, and is joined up with part of that line that was forming from Chanute back down toward Independence. Now, since it's joined up here, the activity by Independence is starting to weaken and die down, and this line is expected to eventually force this activity to turn easterly right along the Highway 54 corridor, and the activity in between is beginning to die down out there. We still have the possibility of a few thunderstorms at this time. No strong or severe thunderstorms are expected, but we'll watch that like we did yesterday because they ended up adding that, and then we had some strong storms. So that activity expected to roll east. Then we'll start to see later this afternoon some additional scattered thunderstorm development, a few more organized storms in southeast Kansas, and they try to cross into Missouri and northeast Oklahoma, but they end up dying out before they do so. Then we'll go through the overnight. We'll be calm again. We head into tomorrow afternoon, and we'll start to see additional scattered shower and thunderstorm development across the area. And like the last couple of days, this is all based on the daytime heating. So as the evening progresses, those storms will die out as well. Our camera 7th in range line. We got some clouds from those storms up to the north. Otherwise, not bad. 67 in Joplin, a little bit on the muggy side. Dew point 62, humidity is 84%. Around the area, we got 70 Chanute, 68 Iola, 67 in Pittsburgh, 70 Chautauqua, Miami, and 66 in Neosho. We get our morning started. Well, those mostly cloudy skies for most of us, but those getting those scattered storms will have that going for them. More storm development later, 80 by late morning. Highs today, mid to upper 80s across the area. Mostly cloudy skies, and then, of course, the scattered afternoon thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy skies, a few more scattered storms into the evening before they die out, and we'll be back into the low to mid-60s for our overnight lows. And then we'll have these pop-up storm chances all the way through the beginning of next week, so they'll be scattered across the area, but at least there's some rain out there. Temperatures for daytime highs mainly in the mid-80s, overnight lows hanging out right around the mid-60s. That is a check of your forecast. Now, here's Carrie Worthen with a check of Consumer Watch.
In Consumer Watch this morning, today the U.S. House of Representatives is set to vote on a bill to raise the country's borrowing limit. The measure barely cleared the House Rules Committee yesterday with a vote 7-6. Both the White House and Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy have expressed optimism that their deal can become law by June 5th, despite some lawmakers voicing opposition to it. A New York federal appeals court has issued a ruling to shield the billionaire Sackler family from lawsuits related to their business, Purdue Pharma, and the role its drug OxyContin played in fueling the opioid crisis. The decision allows for a bankruptcy deal to resolve cases bought by states, victims in other climates. The family agreed to pay around $6 billion as part of the settlement. The company will also restructure and use some of its profits to fund treatment and other programs to fight addiction. And Minnesota is now the 23rd state to legalize recreational marijuana. The state's governor, Tim Walz, signed a bill yesterday that will allow adults 21 and older to possess marijuana, create a regulatory framework for cannabis retailers and manufacturers, and expunge low-level marijuana offenses. A new law takes effect August 1st. Air New Zealand has been named the Airline of the Year by AirlineRatings.com. The Australia-based aviation safety and produce rating agency cites Air New Zealand's skyest economy beds as one of the key factors determining its #1 spot. The economy life flat seating concept is set to launch in 2024. AirlineRatings.com also praised Air New Zealand's operational safety, environmental leadership, and staff motivation. Quarter Airways, which topped last year's AirlineRatings.com's rating, came in at #2 this year. Abu Dhabi's Etihad Airways, Korean Air, and Singapore Airlines rounded out the top 5. More than 1,000 colleges in the United States allow students to apply for admission through the KOAM app, and soon those colleges will be able to hide information about a student's race and ethnicity. The KOAM app says it is making the change to allow colleges to do that starting August 1st. The decision could diminish the number of Black and Hispanic students in higher education. The move comes ahead of the Supreme Court's ruling that would likely ban college and universities from taking race into consideration while admitting students. Questions about race and ethnicity are optional questions on the KOAM app, and that likely won't change, according to the organization. The KOAM app also lets schools hide information about an application's test scores, birthdays, gender, and social security number. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. The Memorial Day holiday has a little extra special meaning for an elderly Iowa woman.
More than 80 years after World War II, she's finally learning about her dad, who died while fighting overseas when she was just a baby. Emily Schrad has the story.
This is my father, right here. He loved to fly. That's his Purple Heart.
Judy Tosh's father, Virgil Pryor, served in World War II from 1941 until he was declared missing in action in 1944.
They were on a bombing run to France.
Judy was just 6 weeks old when he died. More than 50 years later, after her mom died in 1999, she found a sack full of letters.
I was just so astounded by the volume.
400 letters, to be exact. They were letters her dad had written to Judy's mother during his time in the service.
He always started out, "My darling wife."
With each pen stroke, Judy says it was a way to get to know her father, even though they never met.
That's how I knew my dad. Was reading his thoughts over time. I read them all.
Judy says out of all 400, there's one letter she loves the most.
The one that he got that he knew I was born. He was very excited. He named me. He was counting on a girl. They didn't even have a boy's name. He said, I ran around the barracks screaming that it's a girl. So that might be one of my favorite ones. I should be home to sort of supervise things. But I suppose, yes, you will get along okay.
His words closing the gap between decades, proof of his devotion to his young wife and baby daughter.
But it was really something, I think, that she kept all that. I mean, he wrote, you look at this, he wrote so much.
Judy says along with the 400 letters from her dad, they also found around 200 letters from her mom had written to him during the time as well.
That was absolutely an incredible story.
Yes.
Just great that she was able to get that. Well, we're also getting some much needed rain in southeast Kansas this morning. We've had showers and thunderstorms out there through most of the morning. Now we're slowly beginning to see the activity around Independence start to die down a bit as that line has begun to merge with this batch that's been up to the north. And this line is expected to start to push this batch more easterly. So it may sag south a little further, but it should ride the Highway 54 corridor and roll east out of here. And then this activity should continue to die down over the next hour or so out by Independence and just to the west of Parsons. We do have the possibility of some thunderstorms later today. We've got those scattered storms. Right now, no strong or severe thunderstorm risk on this map, but as happened yesterday, it changed right before the noon, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. But right now, no strong or severe storms expected. So this activity rolls off to the east by the afternoon. Then we start to see some additional thunderstorm development, get a few more organized storms across parts of southeast Kansas by later this evening, and then that activity expected to die before it makes it into southwest Missouri. We'll get a pause overnight, and then we'll have additional scattered storms as we head into our Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. All right, 67 in Joplin, a few clouds out there, a little bit muggy as well, south breeze at 5. Across the region, temperatures not a bad start for us this morning. 70 in Chinook, Chitopa, Miami, 67 Pittsburgh, Parsons, 66 Neosho, and sitting at 68 in Carthage. And as we get our morning started, we'll have those mostly cloudy skies for most of us, but we do have some of those scattered showers out there. And then we'll start to see the redevelopment of some scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head later into the morning and into the afternoon hours. And check this out, a little bit warmer as we push to about 80 by late morning. That's a quick check of your forecast. We'll have more on today's weather, the week ahead, and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. On Tuesday, the Rise Coalition hosted a walk aimed at raising awareness of missing and murdered Indigenous persons. The walk was at Rotary Centennial Park in Miami, Oklahoma. Along the walk were missing persons posters featuring the photos and information of Indigenous people who have disappeared. Organizers say it's important to put a spotlight on these cases. The Joplin Public Library asked for the public's help in finding a stolen piece of artwork. The library says the statue on their bronze bench outside their entrance was stolen over the weekend. It's a statue of a little boy and girl reading a book together. If you have any information on where the statue may be, contact the Joplin Police Department. The Mercy Health Foundation is fundraising money for the 7th year at their Stick It to Cancer event this week. Officials say this year's total goal is to raise $275,000 by the end of the event on Friday. This year, the foundation is working towards another 3D mammogram unit to help patients with breast cancer when it's at a treatable stage. And some kids in Girard, Kansas threw their own little parade. The Parade Palooza took place at Girard City Park for kids ages 5 years and younger. They got to bring their own rideable toys like trikes, scooters, bikes, and strollers. They decorated for a ride around the park. The parade was made possible thanks to Greenbush Parents and Teachers program.
We've got scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area this morning. They'll stick with us through the afternoon and into the evening hours. For those of you not under the storms, you'll be mostly cloudy. Otherwise, temperatures pushing mid to upper 80s. We head into this evening. Again, a few scattered storms. They start to die out. Overnight, we're mostly cloudy, mild, back in the low to mid 60s. Pop-up storm chances hang out with us all the way through next week, or the start of next week at least. Temperatures, though, remaining mid 80s. Overnight lows right around the mid 60s.
Queen may be the champions for the most expensive sale of a music catalog.
According to a report, the rock group's music catalog could sell for more than $1 billion within the next month. The report says there are talks for Universal Music Group to buy Queen's catalog from Disney Music Group, but Disney Music Group says that is not the case and it has no plans to sell.
If the sale were to happen, they would make it the highest price a music catalog has ever sold for. Singer Bruce Springsteen's catalog sale of nearly $500 million in 2021 is currently believed to be the most expensive deal. Other artists such as Justin Bieber, Sting, and estate of David Bowie have all sold their own catalogs as well.
I apparently need to generate myself a catalog that I can sell so that I could make a few bucks.
Just a few, like 500 million. You know,
William Shatner did those spoken word versions of songs. I think I could probably do that.
I believe in you.
I'll give it a shot. We'll see what we can do. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.